as two capital city rivals go head-to-head in Sydney. Kings fans hope their team can take down Melbourne United for a third straight game on the back of their number one man. Here he is, Kendrick Davis, who's done well against Melbourne this year. But that man, Chris Goulding, is fresh from his season high. Tyson Walker set to play a role. Matthew Dellavedova as well after a thriller in the gong. What do we get at Kudos Bank Arena for this top four battle? It's Matt Russell, Jason Cadee, Andrew Gaze, Kelsey Brown bringing you this one. Jason, Drewy, when you say top four, I can really underline it by saying the winner of this will sit third at the end of round 16. How good?
No, it's a big game, and I think it's at that point of the season right now where some of these games, they get a little bit bigger, Drewy, as the season goes on.
My word, and the starting lineup. Tyler Robinson has earned his way in. Who would have thought at the start of the season when he's sitting on the sideline with some issues that he's going to be a starter, but he's done well. But like you mentioned, Matty, Kendrick Davis has been a star. Almost 28 points a game, and that extends back to last season in the last 5 games against this Melbourne United.
Both these teams unchanged since their last outing. So Goulding, Walker, Doyle, Delaney and Edwards starting for Melbourne. You saw Xavier Cooks out with that ankle injury. Bull Quoll, his season over because of the knee, and still no Shea Illy. So tip-off at Kudos Bank Arena, and the first possession will fall for the visitors. When I say visitors, road teams aren't on a great run at the moment. More on that shortly as Melbourne look to open the scoring. Milton Doyle will look to get back to some of his Tasmanian and Melbourne best as this season continues. Nice spin move, Jesse Edwards, and United are on the board.
That's a good start. And they did it last game too, Drew. They really tried to go inside to him and establish him early, and I think it could be a key piece to them actually getting back on the winner's board.
No, it certainly is. And Suarez, he's got good size. Lateral movement is well, perhaps his greatest strength, but it's going to be interesting to see how they establish Edwards and a few others. Chris Goulding's another one, but coming off a 27-point game in his last outing, that loss to Cairns, one of his better outings. So I think Chris Goulding's the key. He cannot just be a role player. He's got to perform to the Chris Goulding level if they're going to win a championship.
In that game against Cairns, had that season high 27 on 5 of 11 threes. Here's Doyle, a delay of game warning on Melbourne after the last possession. Walker lets it fly unsuccessfully. And now Dellavedova will look to avoid that turnover a moment ago as he tried to feed this man again. Tyler Robinson off the mark early. Great to have Jason Cadee and Andrew Gaze in Sydney together again between them. 35 seasons and 1,036 NBL games. You blokes have forgot more about basketball than most of us will ever know.
That's all Drewy. I think all those numbers you just spat out, it's not me.
400 plus games ain't bad, Jason Cadee. 424 of them. And Drewy 612 behind Tony Ronaldson only, and tracking that 500 club is a man on the court right now, Chris Goulding, playing game 497 this afternoon as Davis steps back, misses, and the rebound falls for Edwards, cleaned up by Walker. That's off Malawatch, or is it?
No, it came off, it deflected. It went off Malawatch at first, but then it came back and just a glancing blow on Walker. The officials pick it up, stays with the Sydney Kings, but this Sydney defense, it's vastly different to what we saw at the start of the season. It's hard to establish a whole lot of rhythm against it because it can be so disruptive.
Dellavedova pulls up from three-point land and drops the triple.
And every single time I call the game in Melbourne, every time he makes a three, he goes out of his way to turn and have a look and give Dean Vickerman a bit of a stink eye.
There's Finn Delaney scoring for Melbourne. Well, Dean Vickerman could shoot back and say, well, Delly, it's, you know, you're 27% on the season, that's 16 of 57. Let's just keep it under wraps as he proves the statistics all wrong.
No, Delly's not one that goes outside of him, but whenever he plays United, it has a little bit more on it. And it's fun for us to watch.
Done well against Melbourne United this season. Dellavedova, here he is again. Robertson, the extra pass for Davis in the corner. It's heavy, way over the top of the cup.
That's just a poor foul by Suarez. He was never going to get it, and he just held Chris Goulding. He'd already picked up a foul. And to waste one that obviously, to me, it's just not smart basketball.
especially with their lineup at the moment too. They're going to rely on him to play big minutes tonight.
Dellavedova averaging 13 points, 4 rebounds, 5.5 assists against his former club. All those numbers up on his season average. Delaney the miss, the rebound for the Kings. Kendrick's numbers really good against United this season. Here he is in the lane, kicking it out for Maliwatch to let fly with a triple, unsuccessfully.
Well, they're the shots, though, when they were lights out against New Zealand. You win by 40. They are the types of shots that they were making. Oh, gee, nice pass.
Edwards ends up on his back. There's a King down as well as they go into the offensive set with 4. Suarez can't get up to guard the bucket, and there's a gimme 2 for Jesse Edwards. Suarez still down. He's missed the last 2 possessions.
Couldn't quite see what happened, but as he tried to challenge that lob, he went down and he looked like he was holding his hand or his stomach.
Let's hope it's something just winding.
Jesse Edwards maybe been a little lucky not to get called the foul. See, the left arm goes around the head of Suarez, and that to me is an offensive foul.
You could also say he jumped backwards into his space as he was going up.
Well, if you want to call that first, but you can't grab a guy around the neck.
No, you can't.
Pull him to the ground.
I don't know what he's hurt here.
And there's Edwards, goes over to say sorry, and Suarez didn't want any part of it.
The Brazilian and the Dutchman bringing an international flavour to that little flare-up in the Hungry Jacks NBL. But remember, they're missing 2 normal starters, the Kings. Xavier Cooks, Bull Quoll. There's a 3rd starter forced to the bench prematurely. Tim Suarez. Kelsey will be all over that for us. Let's hope it's just precautionary for the Sydney big to get back on court. And there's Golding getting his hand in the way of a Davis pass. Walker to the rack, and the rebound taken by Goodrick. Tyler Robertson hard into Edwards. His shot jumps out. Offensive rebound, Goodrick. And he'll go to the line for 2, unhappy. He couldn't make the shot.
Well, early on, we're seeing Melbourne United transition defense. When they don't make a basket, the Sydney Kings just are flying it down the floor. Now, they've missed a few, but they've got some real good options. And the transition D of Melbourne United has been less than optimal.
Well, if you look at their last game at home against Southeast Melbourne, the pace they played at for 40 minutes was extraordinary. And if you also look at the group they got on the floor, they basically started with 4 guards, almost point guards, and a big. So I just expect them, Drewy, to just go up and down and say, we're going to play at this pace all night and see if United can stick with us.
Because of the late finish in Wollongong, we've got a late hello to Kelsey Brown. How are you?
Hey guys, great to be here, but I want to touch on that defensive transition that you're talking about from Melbourne United. When I spoke to Dean Vickerman prior to the game, he said that's one of the key areas that they've talked about in the last few weeks when they've had this bad run of form. It's about trusting each other on the defensive end and getting back to that defensive identity. I spoke about the relationships that he's built and being able to have those hard conversations, and he said there's been plenty of hard conversations that he's had to have lately.
Sydney 2 of 8 from the field, United 3 of 9. Is that poor shot making or good defence from both teams? Men, as we see Doyle's runner find the bottom of the net.
You like to see that go in because he's had a couple of games where he just can't find that consistency we're used to seeing from Milton Doyle.
United by 1. Early minutes here in Sydney. Galloway.
There's not a whole lot of sophistication with what they're doing with cutting and any type of action, but they just get down, head down, and get to the rim. Edwards gets the friendly roll from the rim.
Forced into a tough shot, wasn't he? This is the 4th meeting between Sydney and United this season. 2-1 to the team in purple. And interestingly, all 3 meetings have been won by the road team. Delaney outside, Walker, extra pass, Doyle, back-to-back shots, but can't make that one. The Kings winning their last 2 meetings against Melbourne, both at John Cain Arena, after United came here and took down Sydney in round 4.
One area that Melbourne United has really had some problems with is defending the 3-point line, but also they've had some games where they had that one game where they were 1 of 28 or thereabouts from the threes. They just have not been able to find any level of consistency from the three-point line.
Round 12 against Sydney, Andrew. 1 of 28, having missed their first 17.
Yeah.
Didn't happen in your day. As Golding says, we'll remedy that three-point stat on cue.
And that'll make Dino happy because he just told the two players sub it in with some choice words that I won't repeat. Boys, we need to make some threes. We're getting good looks.
Kendrick Davis earns a trip to the line. Yes, in that game where Melbourne hit 1 of 28 threes and missed their first 17. Took overtime to beat them.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
How
say.
do
It
you
went
get-
down to the wire, so that for most categories in that game, they had that distinct advantage. They just couldn't throw it in the ocean. But Chris Golding, he's in that frame of mind where he had a down period coming back from an illness. But the 27 that he had against Cairns looked like it was very sharp. Matthew Dellavedova is guarding him, so he's got a tough defensive assignment.
Despite Golding's heroics as he lets rip with another three successfully. Back-to-back triples. What sort of afternoon is CG 43 set for? That good game against Cairns, his team still went down by 1. So Melbourne having dropped 7 of their last 9. Sydney having won 7 of their last 9. Still, Melbourne in 3rd, Sydney in 4th. The winner of this game will enter Hoops Fest round 17 in 3rd, and Delhi says, let it be the Sydney Kings climbing the ladder.
Oh, he's 3 of 4 in the outing, and it's not the prettiest shot you'll ever see, but it's effective at the moment. He's only 28% on the season, but that has improved in the last 6 weeks because he started off horrifically. But let's have a look at the Amy replay of the off-the-ball movement. Just got a lock and trail, goes underneath the first screen, and that just gave him that little bit of separation. And down the other end, sometimes your best defense is your offense.
Jace Matthew Dellavedova, his NBL career high is 7 made threes. His season high is 4. He's got 3 in the first 5 and a bit minutes.
Well, the way he started, if you're just going on this game alone, you'd say that's under threat. But we'll see how this game plays out, especially with Delhi and shooting.
Here he is, ageless Chris Golding, high off the glass this time, and Golding, what a start, out to 8 points on 3 of 4.
Oh, my goodness.
Dellavedova caught the front of the rim. That was for the season high 4 made threes.
Now that's uncharacteristic for him to pull the trigger that quickly. But when you've made 3, the thing starts looking huge and the belief rises.
Melbourne by 5. Davis can't trim that.
Rough
Rebound
start.
Doyle.
Sorry, Matty, but rough start for Davis, who's loved playing against Melbourne United.
Andrew is off a 10-point game in that win. Here he is, Davis, and still the shot jumps out. Rebound taken by Daniels.
Well, he's 0-5. And that's where Brian Gorge, he had the 10 points in that last one. He only played 22 minutes in that spifflication of the Breakers.
103-62, a 41-point win. So their 2 leading scorers this season, Xavier Cooks doesn't play, and Kendrick Davis has a season-low 10 points. They still win by 41.
I know, but in that game, like I said, he only played 22 minutes, and you can understand why. We've got another game on Sunday, but sometimes in your own head, he's only had 10 points. He's one of the leading scorers in the competition, and sometimes, you may not overtly say it, but you want your numbers. And when you're coming off only a 10-point game, are you better just playing more minutes, give him his regular 30-plus minutes and get his points?
I mean, even to your point, if that is 26, 27, he's still rolling in pretty fresh when it's a 40-point win because we've got
Burgers, Dash Daniels, his 42% free throw percentage this season feeds the great state of New South Wales. The code word is trades. Go to the NBL website, click on the Hungry Jack's tile, follow the prompts and head to Jack Cowan's establishments and load up on free cheeseburgers. Jace, I can tell you that Jack is in the house and he's applauding that.
I was about to say, he's 6 seats down, and I got told, Drewy, you're the only one that's got a gold card. I asked for where mine is, I can't get one.
A long time ago, but just had to put that to a side because it's very embarrassing when you go in there and they get on the speaker and ask for management because they've never seen someone with a gold card. No, I'd rather pay, thanks.
The Ignite Cup final, it's coming very, very quickly.
There he is.
February 22, Gold Coast. I reckon, Jack, if he can get away from all his work, he'll be there, because what a location. Gold Coast, it is tailor-made to host the Ignite Cup final. You think Gold Coast, you think glitz, glamour and cash. There's cash on the line in the Ignite Cup final, Jace. You don't get any of it.
I know. As Tyson Walker makes a nice move there, but someone talked to me the other day about that, and I guarantee you the players are thinking about that money.
Oh, for sure. It's a very big reward.
Delavadova for Goodrick. And Fabian Krislovic denying Goodrick. They kick it outside for Galloway to make good.
Well, Goodrick, you tell us a little bit more about him, Jace, because he has come from nowhere, really, and he has shown that he's a legitimate NBL player.
Well, Robbie Cadee,
hello.
Out there. Robbie Cadee actually had a lot to do with him as a junior, North Bear junior, and when they signed him, Dad said it's a great pickup because he just does all the little things.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he's done.
And you saw in that last pass, he got the around the basket, and that kick-out pass, it looked simple, but he had to find his player on point, an extra pass, wide open Galloway 3. So it was almost like a hockey assist from Goodrick. I hadn't heard a lot about him, obviously, in the NBL 1. I follow coaching in that league, but the impact that he's had out of necessity, really.
Especially when they lose Spurgeon, who's not far away, I believe, and LePepe. They're two big losses, especially in the bigs department.
We saw Leo Pepe going through a shoot-around pre-tip here. He looks fit. So Delaney makes the back end. Just back to Hunter Goodrick, a 25-year-old. Averaged 17 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists as North Bears went out in the finals of NBL 1 East. Here's Kwatnoi. His 3 ball off the mark, and there's Goodrick getting the O board. Must know we're talking about him. College in the States. Brian Gorgon couldn't believe that he was still available to play NBL and snapped him up as Sydney retreat with more points.
Wow, this is as aggressive as we've seen Matthew Delavadova on the offensive end in a long time.
He leads all scorers with 11, 4 of 6. And Bruce gets the rebound. Just over a minute left in the first. Delavadova has started as a man on a mission. 3 of 5 triples, 11 points for the game. Noi tough off the glass. Now a delay of game warning on the Sydney Kings. So both teams have copped a warning in that regards.
Short minutes for Bruce. He played the 2 minutes, Davis comes back in.
Andrew, what if I told you that 8 of the last 9 winners in the NBL have been the road team?
It wouldn't surprise me early on in this season. I don't know what the numbers are. I saw it 4 or 5 weeks ago, and in fact, there were more road wins than home wins, which is quite extraordinary.
Quite a run for the visiting teams right now as Walker leaves 2 there, but it's fixed up for him by Jesse Edwards.
It's a pretty small lineup that the Sydney Kings roll with here. Galloway, Noi. Now, it's still got some rebounding presence, but size does matter in this league.
Kings have won their last 6 opening quarters and don't give up on them winning this one either. They get back to parity. They're on a good roll at home, having won 5 of their last 6 home games. So everywhere you look, there are encouraging stats for both teams in this one. Battle of the top 4 heavyweights. Kyle Bowen misses his shot, and Sydney should get the final say of the quarter. This for the lead. Davis on ball. Kicks it outside for Galloway, and Sydney lead at quarter time for a 7th straight game. They were under the pump for most of it, but Galloway goes crash bang, and the Kings carry a 3-point lead into quarter time. Watch it again. Davis was looking for the shot outside Galloway.
It is. That right there is symbolic of Melbourne United season. 6 of 12 from the 3-point line. Got to find a way to stop if they think they're going to win a championship.
Paul Smith likes it. A big crowd likes it. I hope you like it. You're watching Hungry Jacks NBL 2026.
Two powerhouses going head-to-head here at Kudos at Bank Arena. It's 26 to the Sydney Kings, 23 to Melbourne United in a fast-paced and efficient first term. I listened into Brian Goorjian. He was all about the offensive end. Better job on the on-balls, he said. And Kendrick Davis, he looked straight at him and said, don't worry about the 0 and 5 that you're at the moment. Keep going on the attack.
He's left the scoring to the likes of Jalen Galloway and Matthew Dellavedova. 11 points each, game highs for those two. Kelson, 10 lead changes in that first quarter. Men, they both started a little wobbly offensively, but found their shot making, and Galloway keeps it going.
Dino would be pretty disappointed with the end of that first quarter. They actually were controlling it until the last probably 90 seconds. But Jalen Galloway, Drew, he's one for me. The usage of him at times this year's been a bit strange. I know they're deep, but he's got so much talent.
Yeah, that's true. And we've seen that now, in fairness, against lesser opponents with the Australian team when he's been there. He's been able to put up some enormous numbers. Delhi is just doing un-Delhi-like things. On ball, no pass offense, a metre behind the three ball, and he decides to let it fly.
He's just taken his 6th three-point attempt. Now, he has made 3 of them. Edwards able to score a tough bucket on Suarez last possession for Melbourne. He goes outside, and Tanner Krebs says, let me provide. An understated member of this Melbourne team, Tanner Krebs, Drewy.
Yeah, he's had a few big games. He can shoot the three ball. But to your point, Matty, Delhi only averages on just a little over 2.5 three-point attempts per game. He's whacked up 6 already.
Suarez trying to show us his 3 ball, and does.
Again, Jace, you see any sort of major adjustments? They're 7 of 14 from threes. And it's not just this game. They've had problems. They're last in the competition for opponent three-point field goal percentage.
Davis behind the back for Suarez. Oh, beautiful to watch. Davis for Suarez.
I'm not sure what was more impressive, the pass or the catch.
Delaney sits it up looking for Edwards, and we have a foul called on Galloway, holding a shirt according to Vaughan Mabry. Our officials today, Vaughan Mabry, Ken Arick, Josh Durand.
And the Amy replay, have a look at this. Pass was not great. It went behind him, but Suarez just read the play beautifully.
Edwards threads the eye of the needle for Golding to go off the glass. It's baseline move, well spotted by the Melbourne big.
Jace, the way they're playing, Chris, that's going to be on. They're trying to top block him. Davis gets himself going. They're trying to top block him, so it's always going to be exposed. And if you're going to do that and top block him, you need that weak side help to be there a little earlier.
Davis makes his first field goal of the game, followed by a flush from Edwards. 35-32 Kings. Fabian Krizlovic returns for Dean Vickerman. Good coaching head-to-head today in his 26th season. Brian Goorjian, 6-time champ, 6-time coach of the year. In his 12th season, Dean Vickerman, 3-time champ, 3-time coach of the year. Head-to-head, it's Vickerman 9 wins, Goorjian 4 wins. Stat line head-to-head for the Melbourne mentor over the GOAT, Brian Goorjian. Finn Delaney, 3 more for Melbourne as they lock us up at 35.
Just trying to check. There seems to be a lot of threes going up at the moment, and quick ones as well.
We look at the Sydney Kings, they're 7 of 15. They're 15 threes. They've had 27 field goal attempts, so more than half coming from the three-point line. Not so much for Melbourne United. They've only had the 9 of 27. Both shooting it really well, though. 44% from threes for Melbourne United, 46 for the Kings. But the willingness to let it fly so early, they don't, a lot of the times they're not exploring for any cheap options or actions on the rim. They're just happy to let it fly.
Davis for Suarez, and the foul will be called on Krizlovic. Just back to Jalen Galloway, who gave us those 2 triples right at quarter time as Sydney took the lead. His career and season high are both against Tasmania. 22 points his career best, but 18 is his season best, and he's raced to 13 on 5 of 5 shooting.
Yeah, maybe he likes playing against his old man's old team, and just he gets, as we've seen from Matthew Dellavedova, gets excited about the prospect.
Kelsey Brown, you got some news on Xavier Cooks for us.
I do. Great news for Kings fans. I spoke to Brian Goorjian before the game, and it's not as severe as they first expected. Not expecting him back for the next game, but hopefully the one after that. So hopefully Xavier Cooks is on the mend, but it looks like Sydney Kings are doing all right without him.
Well, he went down in an absolute barn burner against Southeast Melbourne here last time the Kings played at home. Missed the trip to New Zealand, will miss this game, and Kings fans hope to see him back for Brisbane at RAC Arena to start Hoops Fest this Thursday. It's finally here, Hoops Fest. What a week in Perth we have in store. Davis spins. Look at his movement and ball handling, and Melbourne are forced to foul.
He's playing catch-up the whole time. When you've got someone that can handle the rock like Kendrick Davis, you just got to keep him going one way. Goes one way, goes the other way, goes back this way. All the change of directions makes it really hard to guard, and just send him one way. Have some rules to send him one way, Jason. I know it's easier said than done. Send him one way and blame someone else if there's no help.
That's the right answer at the end. Blame someone else when it doesn't work out, because right then he was in a blender chasing him everywhere.
Watching Walker there try and keep up like a big blowfly, in the end he said, I'm just taking a swat. I'm just having a swipe here to stop this.
It's never pleasant when you're hearing the oohs and ahs of the 14,500 of the year, and they know they're oohing and ahhing because he's got you on skates.
Davis 3 of 4 at the line. He has 5 points for the game. Krizlovic. Doyle for Delaney. Puts up a 3. No joy for Melbourne, but the right sort of role for Krebs to clean up. The Kings by 4 midway through the second. Krizlovic gets a good look. Misses. Rebound Daniels. His shot off the mark, and Maluwatch says let it be Sydney's ball.
Daniels is a young fella, but that's going to be one of his strengths, the way in which he can crash the glass. Oh, what my!
Offensive foul here on Kendrick Davis.
An offensive foul. Said he grabbed the arm of Daniels. Let's have a look at here.
He's hooked the arm under there, yep.
There's the evidence in freeze frame. The hook.
He wants to get clarification, but it was pretty clear cut.
That's something back in the day now. Yes, I'm saying back in the day, but that's something they used to teach.
Well, let's have a look at Melbourne rather than Kendrick Davis and the Kings, because we know they started 9-0. Their first loss of the season was actually against the Kings. There's their results on the left, round 1 to 10. That's pre-fever break as opposed to post-fever break. Dean Vickerman must wake up in the middle of the night and say, why do we adhere to the fever break? What the hell happened? I know you said pre-game, Jason, you struggle to know exactly what is going on with Melbourne, but between your two great basketball minds, how big a fix might this be for Dean Vickerman from here? His team is still in third. There is still plenty of time, but how big a fix for a 3-time Coach of the Year?
The numbers are alarming. They're really alarming. They go from first and second in almost every category to 7th, 9th, 10th. That's something I think it shows in how they're playing. And I'm not always a numbers guy, but those numbers definitely stand out considering where they were.
Yeah, the numbers are a byproduct of the way they're playing. Their defense has not had the same level of aggression that it had early on. They're clearly not shooting the ball as well in the past, and they just looked disjointed on the offensive end. And it's never any one or two players' responsibility, but certainly with Edwards and Walker, when two new guys come in, they start to figure them out a little bit, and they haven't been as impactful as they were early on.
Tanner Krebs misses the 3-ball. Offensive rebound grabbed by Delaney. Doyle misses, and now Maluwatch pounces for Sydney.
cannot make it 3. They're the types of threes they were getting their fair share when they were 0-9. They're 4 of 14 in this one. And they've been good looks.
I mean, for Milton Doyle, that's one for him. You're just used to seeing him step in and knock it down.
Dellavedova backing down Daniels and forcing the youngster into a foul. The 18-year-old and the veteran Dellavedova teaches him a lesson there.
Young ball, old ball stuff, but the concern here is when he's come down, looks like a little head injury. And you'd never like to see someone when they've had a knock on their head moving their hands like that. Let's have a look.
The hip.
Oh, it might have been when he landed.
I think even the hip of Dash is kind of collective.
Right, oh no, right there. When he landed on the ground.
I think it's both, Drew, if you go back, because when he jumped, he's almost swung into his hip.
Oh, I think it's
this one right here, look, us.
And then
the second.
I think the first one did the damage and the second one made sure of it.
I hate to say this, but I think it's highly unlikely we see Matthew Dellavedova for this, because
he doesn't look great at all.
As you would expect, uber cautious when it comes to head injuries, as they should be.
So the 18-year-old and the 35-year-old, Delhi won the on-court battle, but then will pay a price for doing so. I think that initial hip to the head stunned him, whereby he couldn't protect himself on falling.
He looks really groggy too. Like, I actually think that could, to Drew's point, this might be something severe.
They take zero risks, as they should.
I've been through a concussion. It's just something you can't. I've been a guy who played through anything. Concussion was the one thing I learned you can't play through, because it actually wrecks your day-to-day and all different things.
So Dellavedova, after such a busy start to the game, 11 points, 4 of 7 from the field, including 3 made triples, leaves with 5 minutes left in the second and must be listed as highly unlikely to return.
Well, this is really testing the depth. Already, when you don't have full quality, you don't have Xavier Cooks, you say, well, if you're going to pick 2 players not to have playing, they would be high on priority for an opposition team wanting to win, and now you take out Dellavedova.
Well, that's 3 starters, Drewy, as Krebs gets to the backboard and uses it effectively. The fact that they had Tim Suarez pick up a knock earlier as well, another one of their starters. There are some question marks over the Kings.
Suarez has already got the 2 fouls as well. There's Delhi heading to the change rooms.
So again, Kels will bring us any news out of the Kings on Matthew Dellavedova. That man Xavier Cooks due back shortly. So there's some good news. Some other good news is the way they've been able to handle the absence of Cooks that last game, and a lower output from Kendrick Davis. But certainly these high-profile injuries will mount. Watnoy at the line, effective.
Well, you don't see this very often. Maybe in the under-14s, sometimes maybe in the under-16s, but rarely in the NBL game. We've got a 4 on, 4 off.
Hockey substitutions.
It's a completely different look that Dean Vickerman's decided to go with in one foul swoop, and some high-quality calling. Edwards, Doyle, Walker.
Just saw Xavier Cook sitting down. He's giving the Kings 13.5 points per game, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. It's a big hole not having him there. And Kelsey, you've got an eye for some bench numbers as well.
Absolutely. You talk about the Sydney Kings and maybe the issues they've got with injuries. I will give you an update on Delhi when I have one, but the Kings currently sitting at 17 bench points to Melbourne United 5. So that's coming at the hands of Jalen Galloway as Davis looks to put one down as well. But a great sign for the Sydney Kings that the bench are getting it done.
Absolutely. Couple of offensive cleanups by the Kings, and then the block. Edwards on the Robertson floater. Now, Edwards at the other end, it was Walker for Doyle. So Edwards very gingerly back to his feet now. Hard to keep an eye on both ends of the floor. Drewy, you were looking at Jesse Edwards.
Certainly was. Tyler Robinson was a lot of contact by Edwards, and they landed on each other. You mentioned those bench points. In fact, Melbourne United are coming off their lowest bench points production this season in their last outing against Cairns, so there might be more to it.
We sit right beside the Pumped by Reebok influencer seats, and a couple of comedians in the house today, among other skills, Sam Laguna and Onye Agbarakwe. Great to have them here, no doubt giving the NBL great exposure on Instagram and TikTok, where their followers, well, let's just say, a bit like your numbers, boys, they just keep going up and up and up, hundreds of thousands. So thank you, Sam. Thank you, Onye, for enjoying the NBL and telling everybody about it.
They're very nice. They always great that people coming along and spreading the love of the NBL.
Sitting in some very comfortable seats too.
I don't think you get any better, really. Right next to Jack Cowan. That's the level of prestige that they've got.
Drewy, last time we mentioned the Pumped by Reebok seats, Jason Kadee was all over the chance to plug Reebok and send out his postal address for
You're a Reebok fan.
a few new
Comfortable
walkers.
shoes, mate.
They are, very nice.
Casuals, got them on now.
Yeah.
Didn't miss a beat,
I've been loving
our
them.
Jace Kadee.
These would suit you, Drewy, although you've got your own. You're so big time, you've got your own shoe line, so we all can't be like you, mate.
Yeah, well, perhaps a slightly different price point between the two, but
He's a very rapid learner in commentary, Jace Kadee, and didn't miss the chance to just maybe add some value and reap the rewards. Quatnoy, baseline on Bowen.
he's going to step up. They need a lot of... He's going to have to probably play a few extra minutes because offensively, he can get it done. The 5 points so far in this one.
Averaging 11.5 points per game. Had a pretty good shooting clip as well. Always fancies his 3-ball, and there's Walker. Averaging 18 points per game against Sydney Tyson Walker, most against any NBL opponent. And then Kendrick Davis just keeps the scoring bubbling along. Not at his effective best, but there's plenty of time for that.
Kendrick Davis trying to fight over the top of the screen. It's called for the holding foul.
Sydney best in the league when it comes to field goal percentage at 47%. They're only a tick below that today.
Jace, how does he respond, Kendrick Davis? He's 2 of 9. It's a rough start. Has he got the appropriate shooter's mentality to work his way through a 2 of 9 start?
He definitely does. I mean, we've seen it for the last 2 years. He just finds ways to get buckets, and he normally finds his rhythm in the mid-range. I think that's one thing that Melbourne have done a good job so far of taking him out of those mid-range where he starts to find a rhythm, and then it just increases from there to everywhere.
Walker to inbound the ball, finding Jesse Edwards with a thunderous dunk.
It's like he just keeps stretching as he jumps.
That was the long run-up at the SCG in the Boxing Day test. Jesse Edwards was always going to unleash, and then Kawatnoi fires back at United. He goes to 8 points.
They've been able to answer the question from the 3-point line. That's, they're getting a lot of their options. Oh, Edwards, they got a problem whenever Edwards is this rich vein of form. One of his better performances of recent times. He's got 16 points, 8 of 9 from the field.
At 4 rebounds, 3 assists, Drewy.
Well, you said it before too, Drewy. When you look at how small Sydney are, I know Goodrick's a 5 in here, but he's not a big 5. He's a worker.
Yep.
It's something if he just puts his head under the ring and says, I'm going to try and grab every rebound and finish everything, it's a great game for him to be in.
Kelsey, over to you.
I love when Melbourne United sticks to the plan. There you go, Kendrick Davis. He gets one to drop, but I spoke to Dean Vickerman before the game, and that was a big part of the scout. They wanted to see what damage Jesse Edwards could do on the Sydney Kings bigs, and I think he's getting it done right now.
His 4th 3-ball, Kels, the first made by Kendrick Davis. Here's Edwards finding an outlet for Golding. Catch and shoot off the mark. Edwards, offensive board, and no putback. The 3-point comparison, Sydney 9 of 19, Melbourne 4 of 17. Goodrick board. Bruce off the mark, and it falls for Delaney. Golding. Brilliant for Doyle, who can't finish.
Milton Doyle, Drew. Yeah. What's he got to do? Because we're not used to seeing this from him. He's been so good since he came out here.
Yeah, it's just needs a few shots to fall. Just can't get it going.
2 of 6 today, 0 of
my.
3 from outside, and I tell you who is getting going, Kendrick Davis, the man they call KD. He wears their #1, and he wants to be their #1.
Well, when you're hitting and shooting the 3 ball like the Kings, the floor becomes really spread, and now the drive becomes a little bit more open, albeit a spectacular finish by the little fella. First of all, he starts it off and gets back on track with a nice 3. And then he's got the shake and bake and the speed, the quick turn of pace, and the little hang time, razzle dazzle, full qual on the sideline, loving the work of Davis.
He didn't have a field goal in the first quarter, a made field goal. He's had 4 in this second quarter to shoot out to 12 points, trailing only Jalen Galloway's 13 at the Kings.
It's a concerning time. Dean Vickerman had a timeout left. You can't carry him over, so I think it's good that he might as well use it, draw something up. And as much as he's drawing something up offensively, it's the 54 points at 47% that'd be a bigger concern. Because you look offensively, you've got your 45. It's not unreasonable. And on the back of 4 of 18, it's certainly not unreasonable. You just can't get the stops.
Last 10 games, Sydney averaging more than 100 points per game, and they're on track to only lift that average. We saw them against Southeast Melbourne, Jason. They shot the ball brilliantly, the Kings.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, Phoenix just shot it even more brilliantly.
And they lost those troops during the contest. Final minute of the half, the Kings by 9. Having led by 3 at the first break.
Nice.
Golding pull up for 3. It's money for Chris Golding.
What a beautifully executed play coming out of the timeout to get Chris Golding a really good look.
They trim it back to 6 as a result. Good rig for Bruce. Bruce off the window with a little flex towards his teammates. The 14-year NBL veteran enjoyed that one. Tyson Walker with the fast feet. He spots the target and misses. Time expires. That's the half. And it's the Kings out by 8 points.
Good half of basketball, but Sydney right now have control of the game. United's going to have to go in and figure out some things because 56 points is probably a little bit too much.
It is, and it's sort of what they've been trying to work on the last month or so is how you guard the three-point line. 9 of 20, and they've been able to come up big from that area again.
Jesse Edwards and Chris Golding in double figures for Melbourne when it comes to the Kings. Matthew Dellavedova, Kendrick Davis, and this man with double figures, Kels.
Absolutely, Jalen Galloway's been massive, but you guys have also put up 56 points to the half. What are you happy with offensively?
I think we're pushing the pace. I think it's been real good, but I think we got to get stopped defensively. Jesse Edwards is killing us on the boards right now, so make sure we box him out.
It's going to be my next question. How do you stop someone like Jesse Edwards? He's got 16 points already.
Yeah, but I think it's a team effort. We're a little undersized, so we just got to stick together as a team and figure it out.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it.
A massive first half here at Kudos Bank Arena. It's the Sydney Kings by 8 points over Melbourne United, who are desperate to get this win. We'll keep an eye on Matthew Dellavedova, but don't go anywhere. We've got a massive Hungry Jacks halftime highlights package right after this.
What are you doing? What's wrong with you? All right, doesn't matter. So the challenge is on. It's a challenge where you've got to run up and do you've got to do a layup, then you've got to run to the other side of the court and do a shot from the three-point line, the free throw line, sorry, and then run back, three-point line. So layup, free throw, and then the three-point line. Back and forth. First one to complete that challenge wins. Ladies and gentlemen, all right. Sydney Kings. Don't shake his hand. Don't shake his hand.
Line up here, fellas. We're going to do it from the halfway. We're going to go that way. Let's count it down in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Kings fans, get behind your player.
We'll lay up.
Oh, wow. Straight in. Oh, boy.
Block it, block it, block it. Where do we get this guy from? Oh, he got it. It's a free throw line.
Get him, Ryan. Get him.
Block it, block it, block it. All right, now, come on, quickly. People will get here all night.
Pass it around. Pass it around.
2v1. Help this guy.
All right, give it to him now.
Give it to him. Let him go. Let him go. 3 points. 3 points. Oh, it's air ball. 3 points. First one to win. First one gets in and wins it.
Look out. Look out.
Oh, no. Here we go. Last chance. Come on, right now.
Oh, there you go.
Back to Melbourne United.
One more shot from Melbourne. Here we go.
Oh. Last shot. This is it. Single or lose.
All right, next shot wins
Free throw.
from anywhere. From anywhere. Next shot.
Free throw. From the free throw. Oh, something from the free throw.
All right, Sydney Kings won that. Sydney Kings won it.
Not bad.
Jeez.
Come in, you guys. You did really well, man. Thank you.
Listen, I didn't notice any tampering in that game. I think it was pretty fair. So, congratulations, Sydney Kings. Well
You're a pretty
done.
good sport. I know there was a couple of Kings against you, but we don't know why you support Melbourne. But, you know, all Melbourne supporters are welcome to our home games as well. So thanks for turning up and congratulations. You've got beautiful. Look at his hair, Rob.
He looks like a lion.
Yeah, the hair's beautiful. It's flowing. It's obviously you haven't been to Turkey lately.
No, it doesn't.
No, yeah, you got to give it a couple of years first.
All right, well done, guys. I'm sure you'll win a prize, something. All right, good work, guys. And
It's the Sydney Kings that have gained the ascendancy here in the first 20 minutes. Tim Suarez there with an easy 2, but it's 56 for the Sydney Kings, 48 for Melbourne United. Jesse Edwards has been massive on the other end of things, but as we come back from the break, looking at a big second half, we've got plenty to talk about with the two of the guys standing next to me. Former Sixth Man of the Year, Jason Cadee, Andrew Gaze. As we take a look at the halftime stats, what are the ones that stick out for you there?
Well, the free throws is alarming because when you look at it, Melbourne's been living in the paint, but they've only shot 4 free throws and they're 1 of 4. But I think Sydney just did a great job of controlling the first half.
And they've defended the three-point line, 5 of 19. I know Melbourne United have had some problems, and this is not new, but that's really been the difference, the way in which Sydney can knock them down, because it's 32-18 points in the paint in favour of Melbourne United. So offensively, they're getting some good looks around the rim. Just can't make a 3.
Yeah, a man who is standing up in that department, and we've asked for someone from Melbourne United to be the man, and it's been Jesse Edwards in the first half. He's our Hungry Jacks halftime highlight. He's got 16 points, but he's been big.
He's been dominant, and we said in the broadcast, he's just made a living in the paint right now. He's getting rebounds, and this is probably a bit more of what we saw early on in the year when Melbourne were rolling.
Yeah, it is. He's a lob threat on the on-ball screens. They make a target of him down low. And Suarez, who picked up 2 early fouls, they've had to play small ball for him. But right now, Sydney Kings are saying, yeah, Edwards, he's got the better of us, but they can't stop us down the other end. And until such a time as their scoring becomes a problem, they're going to live with certain things. And right now, they're probably prepared to live with it, albeit it's a spectacular half of basketball for Jesse Edwards.
Absolutely. If you take a look at his Blackmore's player profile, 16 points, 8 of 10, 5 boards, 3 assists to add with it for the big man. He's had a massive impact on the first half. On the other side of the fence, Kendrick Davis, he had a very slow start to begin with. He was 0 of 5 from the field in the first quarter, but he's come to play in the second.
Yeah, and it's not a surprise. He's a guy that will find his way in the course of the game, and obviously everyone would love to start the game and just be rolling and make every shot, but it's not how it works sometimes. But for their group, they're going into half-time, and he's only got 12, and he's had most of that in the second quarter.
And I like the fact he used the old, oh, I'm a bit sore, and then exploded to the rim for the bucket. No, but he is a tough cover, and he's not going to back down. They're going to go to him. He's an integral part of what they do. And you can see just in those highlights, such a variety of different ways he can hurt you. He is tough to guard.
The matchup between him and Tyson Walker is getting a little bit spicy as well, but we've got plenty more basketball to come here on our Sunday, but we've also got a makeup game between the Cairns Taipans and the Brisbane Bullets, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night at the Cairns Convention Centre. And then we need to look at Hoops Fest.
Yes.
We're heading over to Perth. It is a massive spectacle, Australasia's biggest lifestyle basketball culture festival, and we're going there. What games are standing out for you? I know I've got my eye on the Sunday.
The Sunday games are standout because both teams are trying to fight for that top spot right now, and I think the whole week's going to be great. Obviously, for everyone to be in Perth and enjoy that experience. It's not only the games, everything around it.
And let's not forget about the United Jack Jumpers. Depending on what happens here for both those teams, all of a sudden, Melbourne United, they're not thinking about top 4, hanging on to trying for a top 2. They're going to try and hang on to a top 4 if they drop this one against a team that loves playing against them, so it's going to be a tough one.
Absolutely. That Saturday night game between Melbourne United and Tassie could preview a play-in tournament. Who knows? But we've got 20 more minutes of hoops here on our Sunday afternoon in the Hungry Jacks NBL. It's currently the Sydney Kings up by 8 over Melbourne United.
Right.
Want to hook up you and your mates with the ultimate NBL VIP experience?
Here's what Bunnings has got for your crew.
To hook up you and 4 mates, enter now.
On the big screen now to book your spot. Today's stats are proudly brought to you by Remara. Investments out to perform, that's Remara. The Sydney Kings would like to thank RWS Global, who deliver our fans an epic game day experience. RWS Global is the world leader in developing groundbreaking live experiences across entertainment and sports. Visit rwsglobal.com.
All right, thanks, lady. We've got our lucky winners who've been upgraded. Dave and Lucy, they're embarrassed. I went side a while ago. And Lucy, what happened? Talk us through your dance moves that got you the victory.
Well, it's my son's birthday. It's 8 today, over there.
Oh, happy birthday.
I was doing it for him. I was like, I gotta win the seat.
Well, Dave was saying that he couldn't believe the camera zoomed in that far up. You guys were right upstairs, weren't you?
Yeah, she's just that good, I think. She's such a good dancer. Your eyes are drawn to her, right?
So at the club, she's the one that dances. You're just at the bar, is that right?
That's damn right. Actually, no, that's not true. I give her a kick every now and again.
How many games have you been to?
My first.
First ever game. Wow. Are you King supporters from this point onwards?
Now.
I love that.
Where are you from in Sydney? What part of the world?
We're actually from the Central Coast.
There you go. Welcome to
Kilcare is the place.
Oh, nice, nice.
I love that.
Well, welcome to Sydney.
Would you mind standing up? I should have pulled that. She's already shown us moves, David. You've got to show us a couple of moves.
All right, here
What
we go.
would you have done if the cameras were on you? What would you have done, Rob? Well, you would have gone. I'll guess you to come back. Oh, yeah, he's got the moves up here. He's got the moves. He's got the moves.
Want to hook up you and your mates with the ultimate NBL VIP experience?
Here's what Bunnings has got for your crew.
To hook up you and 4 mates, enter now.
Yeah, I'm hoping they show up to the game and it could be a home game for us through some weird support for me, but you know, we'll see how we go. I won't count my chickens. You know, it's something different, and it was cool at that time, you know, for Perth to get something like that. Usually it's Melbourne that, you know, gets all the love as far as city goes. But I'm excited, you know, and obviously Iverson's coming to town. Everybody know how I feel about him, so that'll be cool to actually meet him if I do. I didn't really believe it at first, so I wanted to wait a few more weeks to be sure he was actually coming. But now we're a week away, so I think it's a for sure thing. It's amazing, you know, it's a great opportunity for the fans to catch so many high-quality hoops. And then for us as players, you know, it's just a little fun environment. And I just think, again, it's a testament to how this league continues to grow and, you know, be more innovative.
Yes, Hoops Fest starts on Thursday. It's the Sydney Kings against Brisbane getting us going. It finishes with Adelaide against South East Melbourne. 9 years ago, almost to the day, I was lucky enough to be in commentary here. Andrew Gaze, you were coaching the Kings. Jason Cadee, you were playing for Sydney and trying to stop a young, brash newcomer to the league on debut, one Bryce Cotton. I think you have the honour of contesting Bryce as he hit his first made 3 in the NBL.
Wow. And I had this man yelling at me because we didn't quite know who Bryce was. But I tell you what, after that game, we definitely knew who he was, and we knew we were in trouble because he was very good.
No, he was. I think he had 28, if my memory serves, or something like that. It was
something like that.
Impressive. But he's gone on to be an absolute sensation.
Five-time MVP.
What else is sensational is this performance by the Sydney Kings, given all the adversity that they've had to face with the injuries, and you get an update on Delhi, like you say, but they have just been incredibly resilient.
Here's Golding spinning in the keyway and forcing a foul on the Kings. Is it Malawatch, the man identified by the referees? It is. So Chris Golding there, but just recapping what you touched on, Andrew. No Xavier Cook's ankle injury, no Bull Qual for the season because of his knee, and Matthew Dellavedova, a nasty collision and landing, so forced off with what appeared to be concussion symptoms. And just a little question mark over Timmy Suarez, but he's back out there and seemed to shake off his heavy landing early on.
Well, clearly the Sydney Kings have got incredible depth and great talent, but I think it also speaks volumes when you've got an experienced coach, and arguably the greatest coach this league has ever seen, at the helm, able to find ways to still get things ticking over. And they've been able to do that. And when it's predicated on your defense, it really does help.
Well, the team approach from Sydney has already been seen this season. They've got great contributions across the playing roster. Malawatch to a case in point, Tyler Robertson, who makes the bucket to underline what we've been saying.
He's playing with great confidence. He's really bounced back off. It's hard to miss a preseason, and he's kind of missed that preseason and found form has gone on. Oh my gosh. Just throw it anywhere.
That is big. He had to go high. It was a good pass, but not a great pass. But you've got a lot of margin for error when it's Jesse Edwards. But getting back to what you were saying, those team performances, early on, it was their large depth that everyone thought that was a reason why Sydney weren't going so well, trying to play too many players. But gee whiz, the way the season's turned out, it's come together.
That wingspan on show again from Jesse Edwards. They almost turn it over. Good fight, Finn Delaney. Golding sets his sights on a 3, misses, and Malawatch gets the rebound. Into Milton Doyle, and again, Jesse Edwards, a genuine 7-footer. That's 213 centimetres top to toe. I don't know what fingertip to fingertip is when he spreads it out, but it's a long way.
Well, it is. On that last alley-oop, you can't... I know Suarez, he was in the help position and got picked off from behind. And the only thing that's going to help you when you've got a play like that is much more ball pressure to make that pass a whole lot tougher.
Melbourne with possession. They'll need to have an eye on Kendrick Davis, who had 11 of his 12 points for the game in that second quarter. Slow to start, but he got going. And he's still in that halftime tally. Milton Doyle given an eternity to set his sights, but the shots aren't falling. Luckily, they have Jesse Edwards.
Well, he's keeping him in it. He's rebounding, he's dunking.
20 points for the game to lead all scorers. Suarez leaves it short for a Delaney rebound. Kings by 4, 2 minutes gone in the third. Golding.
That was a better effort by Suarez that time. He boxed out. With his size, he's probably not normally as accustomed to be so concerned about boxing out. Just go get the ball, but against Edwards, got to get a body on him.
Despite that miss, the Kings shooting the 3 ball at 41%. Tyson Walker off the glass for Melbourne. It's the 3 ball for United, which is ugly reading again at 5 of 22. Jalen Galloway, athletic. Kings leading scorer up to 15 for the game.
United need to come out of half-time aggressive. I think Dino, at least watching this right now, would feel way more comfortable with how they're going about it right now.
Well, that's a bit too aggressive from Milton Doyle. Called an offensive foul. So Milton argues his case.
Yeah, he turned. Turned into him.
Replay backing the call of the officials.
You better not flinch. These days on screens, you better be set, stationary, and do not flinch at all, or else it's going to be an offensive foul.
Bruce pulls up for 3. It's good. Short to 5 points for the game. Playing his customary role effectively. Edwards finds Delaney. And these 3 balls, they're just not going. It was a problem when they last met in round 12 for Melbourne, and is again. The Kings by 7, their biggest lead of the game, 9. And that's where they sit right now.
Geez, that's a tough shot, people. He makes it look easy, but shooting that over Jesse Edwards on the run, that is a nice finish from a small guard.
Delaney had eyes for the rack. Instead, it's Edwards scoring with 1 to come.
It's on Suarez. Came over to help out, and the drop-off pass wasn't able to recover in time. That's his 3rd. Suarez, we look at the Amy replay. See, Suarez helps and then just wasn't able to get back into a legal defensive position.
So Edwards at the line for the first time today, looking for his 23rd point of the contest and getting it. Edwards' season high is 25 against Adelaide in round 6. Set to mow past that. Kelsey, over to you.
We talk about Melbourne United and their scoring. It's Jesse Edwards and Chris Golding and not much else at the moment. Gazy, you're a scorer. We know that the Kings have a bit more of a spread. Who do you need to see more from?
Well, I think right across the board with Melbourne United, we've been talking about with Milton Doyle has been a focus on them when things aren't going well. He's only got 4 points. He's 2 of 7. Finn Delaney's 2 of 8. So there's 2 starters that you can point to. And they've got not a lot off the bench either. So what's happened is that anytime Melbourne get any sort of momentum, Sydney Kings are able to come up with a big 3, a play at the rim. They're able to answer the question, And Melbourne just can't put enough scoreboard pressure to make those shots that they're taking a whole lot harder.
The voice of the NBL's all-time leading scorer, Jason Cadee, or Andrew Gaze, beside Jason Cadee. Kelsey Brown courtside for us. As Melbourne chase this much-needed win. Milton Doyle draws the foul. He'll go to the line for 2. United having dropped 7 of their last 9. Sydney having won 7 of their last 9. Yet they sit 3rd and 4th.
Now, Drewy, this is a place where Milton Doyle needs to get to the line. See a couple go in.
Yep.
Everyone knows there's a shooter or a scorer. Just get to the free throw line and hopefully knocking a couple down can help. Just get your eyesight in, even though that rattles in.
Yeah, it was well short. Still found a way to get over the front of the rim.
It's his first trip to the line today, and his field goals have been tough, 2 of 7. He makes both freebies. Is that the trigger for Milton Doyle? Such a brilliant scorer when he's in the zone and flowing. Goodrick outside. McQuatch Malawatch lets rip with a 3.
I mean, that's a great look for Sydney, but I don't think Tanner needs to help that much. If Hunter Goodrick's going to go and score, I think if you're Melbourne United, you've got to live with something, and it can't be a kick-out open 3 ball.
Delaney playing tough.
Yeah, right now, almost to a point where, okay, we might give up some shots at the rim, but let's do one or the other. And let's just take away the 3 ball if that's the decision.
Malawatch set for an important back end of the season in the absence of Bull Quoll, who was the man who came in to start.
And that's an example like you're talking about, Jace, is, okay, it gets to the rim, and we might have got a lucky break that it didn't fall, but almost making the conscious decision to not help out as much off the 3-point line, understanding that you might give some things up, but having a better chance to take away what's really hurting you right now, and that is 11 threes to the Sydney Kings.
Doyle brings Melbourne to the front court. It's the home team by 7. It's back half of the 3rd quarter. This man has led Melbourne scoring. He spots Daniels on the move. Nice pass, shot short. And the rebound falls for Sean Bruce. Davis guarded by Daniels. Kendrick will step back for 2. He goes to 16 for the game.
That's the area for KD. Once he finds that rhythm and he gets that mid-range, you coach someone who was elite in the mid-range, Jerome Randall.
Yeah.
And KD has that mid-range game that Jerome has where he can just find that spot and rise and shoot.
Doyle for Daniels.
It's a good foul.
Go to the line for 2.
It's a good foul, because Dyson Daniels has had Dash Daniels. How am I going? You see, Dyson had a triple-double the other day, which is good on him, but Dash
nice segue.
Has not been great at the free throw line.
I mentioned the 42%. He was the one who gave us Hungry Jack's Burgers earlier in the game. And it's none from 3 at the line. His season, his rookie NBL season, the free throw shooting 42%. Don't forget the 100-year tour of the Harlem Globetrotters. June, July this year. So NBL 1 competitions will be in full swing, but a break from the NBL season. Get out and enjoy the Washington Generals, copping it again, I suspect, Jason.
They might win this year. 100 years, it might be the year.
I don't like the look of them. This is an interesting phase now that Melbourne United go through when they've got Edwards, who's been dominating with 23 points, and Chris Golding sitting off at the same time.
Davis. Krebs doing a good job momentarily. Can he stay with him? Step back again by Davis, and Melbourne force him out of it. Doyle was working in behind Krizlovic. Those shots now 2 of 8. None of 5 from outside. And there's a foul called on Daniels. Will be his second personal.
There was certainly a hit in the face, but Davis made sure the officials knew that there was a contact to the face. Right there. You just shouldn't have your hands out there in that position. He's trying to find over the top of the screen.
Don't forget, we have our makeup game tomorrow night, Monday Night Hoops, Cairns, Brisbane. Rescheduled now the weather situation is clearer. Straight into Hoops Fest in Perth, Thursday night, Kings, Brisbane. And the Kings through Galloway, who goes to 17 points for the season. One shy of his season high. They might carry winning form into Hoops Fest because they're out by 10.
Dean Vickerman wouldn't be happy with that defence. There was not a lot of much about any of that play other than throw it to a man, go one-on-one, get to the rim.
Dean Vickerman, 12th season, 3-time championship winning head coach, 3-time coach of the year, 9-0 to start the season. Now he has a bigger mountain to climb.
Joker 2 right here. Fabio out. CG's on the down screen. Coming hard right now. All right. Again. See that pocket pass as you come off. See that turnout as you come off. All right. Fellas, get this back to 4 points by the quarter, right? Here we go. Get a shot.
So there's the goal. Get it back to 4 points. Heading to the last quarter. Dean Vickerman, little reset, then a very basic instruction. Kelsey Brown's been listening into Brian Goorjian and chasing an update on Matthew Dellavedova. Kels, what do you got for us?
No official update on Dally, but to make the assumptions run wild, he has not returned to the court. So he is still in the hands of medical staff behind closed doors back in the change room. And Brian Goorjian, as much as he's happy on the offensive end, he's not happy with this defensive effort. It was all about that in the timeout.
Okay, thank you. Yes, he joined us late. Matthew Dellavedova catching the hip of an opponent, then colliding with the ground heavily as they walk away with a much-needed 3 United.
And I was about to say, I might be stating the obvious, but this is a big 3 minutes for United. They've just got to, Dino said in the timeout, let's get it back to 4. Let's get it back to a margin where we're starting to play. Oh, my.
Well, Delaney's been called for the foul. He doesn't like it, and he's been teched up as well.
Well, that is a gross overreaction by the officials. Man, it's on Finn Delaney.
It is Delaney.
Let's have a look here. Well, that's all ball, and that's not a defensive foul, so he gets upset. Oh, you're joking.
I mean, come on.
What a tech foul for that!
I actually was looking for a challenge.
Yeah, I think he would have won the challenge.
He might get some sympathy from Brian Goorjian, who was teched up here early this season for something that was a fair stretch, according to the experts.
Well, the official who called it from a long way away was not in a position to hear what he said. So surely we can't desensitise the game to that point. You can't have a modest reaction.
Well, I just look at it. It wasn't at the referee. It was a reaction, sure. But what are we trying to say, that you can't react or you can't show some emotion in a game like this?
Wow.
It wasn't towards. It wasn't demonstrative.
No.
I don't know. That's the player in me says I don't like it at all.
Finn Delaney with 3 personals. Sydney making 1 of 2 at the line. Now Golding just puts it on the floor to get away from Galloway. Can't hit, but he might get another go. Sydney by 8. Melbourne trying to get it back to at least 4 by 3/4 time. They're scrambling here. Krebs shot short. Rebound, Tyler Robertson. Sydney rotate the ball for Bruce. Guarded by Krislovic, who did enough. A rebound by Golding. The ball is left behind for Galloway to put an exclamation mark on his season high. Galloway to 19 points for the game at 100% from the field, and that one made a statement.
It's just clunky. A lot of ISO ball, a lot of penetration coming, not a lot of ball movement, man movement in the half court, and turnovers and poor shots is not helping Melbourne United's cause.
Must be nice to finish like that.
Big couple of games for Jalen Galloway off a 16-point return on 5 of 7 in that big win against New Zealand. Not to mention 7 rebounds. So with a few troops down, Jalen Galloway delivering for Brian Goorjian. Here's Tyson Walker delivering for the men in blue.
And that was needed. Because they're going to need someone to get some buckets here and just keep the score ticking over, and someone to take control of the game for them.
Really only Jesse Edwards has had the points flow freely. Bruce looking for a Malawatch alley-oop. Couldn't quite execute.
Defense.
And final minute of the third, the door just opens here for Melbourne United. Walker, back-to-back buckets, and he draws the foul. He'll go to the line for one more. They'll shoot here to make it that 4-point buffer Dean Vickerman craved.
No, this is nice. He just takes his time, and he's obviously just made one, but that quick first step, and he gets to where he needs to go. But I'm looking at this game right now, Drewy, and I think he's their guy right now. I know Edwards has been great, but I think Walker just needs to control it for them and just drive what they're doing.
I saw Andrew Gaze trawling through the NBL app pre-game, getting all the latest details, player profiles, great research, and you can have it in your pocket. Download the NBL app and follow all you need to know about the NBL as Krebs gets mobile. He's blocked at the bucket, and the ball falls for Malawatch. Was that Sean Bruce? It's getting up and about.
Highlight time. Block off the backboard.
Great hustle too, because he was the one that missed the play on the rim. We've got about a 7-second differential between the game clock and shot clock.
Portnoy! The difference back to 6. Melbourne with what they would like to make the last possession of the game with points at the end of it. Tyson Walker just took his eye off the ball momentarily, looking for the shot clock, and coughed it up. So the Sydney Kings lead it into three-quarter time, 79-73, with 4 players in double figures. We're back to Kudos Bank Arena for the 4th quarter right after this.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, a Canon EOS R50V worth $1,500. Thanks to Canon and Harvey Norman. All you've got to do is strike a pose just the way our dancers are doing. If the camera hits you, you've got to stand still and strike a pose. Thank you, Dan. But strike a pose. All right, camera finds you. Let's go. Let's get the cameras roaming. Who's going to be our winner? Let's get creative. Oh, look at that guy on the left. Like a statue. It's good dancing. Oh, wow. You stop there, Roger. You stop. He's good. What else do you have? What is that symbol? I don't know. It's a gang sign. I don't want to get involved. Oh, yeah. Just champion. Strike a pose. What is that? It looks like a king crown, maybe. I don't know. I like that. I'll do it as a kid. Go back to 3 girls. That was very creative. You've got the family right. Who's going to win? Thanks to Harvey Norman for my team. Oh, wow. Who's got a gun? That's just attitude. We've got a mum in the background looking back. He's doing back. That ball's free. What's that guy doing? Yes, go. All right, you're our winner because you're pointing at me and you look tough and scary. I don't want to fight you. Take it easy. But you're our winner. Thanks to Harvey Norman and Cannon. You win that amazing prize.
One final term to play here at Kudos Bank Arena between the Sydney Kings and Melbourne United. And if you take a look at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder, Sydney have officially jumped Melbourne United. Melbourne United are desperate for this win, having only won 2 of their last 9 games. I listened in to Dean Vickerman at that time break, and it was all about Tyson Walker. He went straight up to him and said, awesome job. Tyson Walker had 8 points in that quarter. He seemed to be the one that made the run at the end of that one. And Jace Kiddy, you're a facilitator. You're the one that gets the others to eat. And it looks like at times Tyson Walker is a little bit too unselfish.
No, I think especially with their group right now that's trying to find rhythm, they're just looking for someone to take the bull by the horns and take control. And I think he's got to be the guy. And to your point, he had 8 points, but it was probably in the last 2 minutes that he had those 8 points.
Galloway with the first shot of the final quarter, a miss. Milton Doyle works baseline effectively. 79-75. Is it Tyson Walker? Is it Jesse Edwards for Melbourne? Edwards starting the 4th on the bench. Robertson guarded by Delaney. They nearly turn it over. In fact, they do. So a bit of momentum for Melbourne out of the 3-quarter time break. Doyle, and the foul will be called on Robertson.
Well, they're picking on him now. Robinson, you heard Dean Vickerman in the background. Or maybe you didn't, but if you didn't, he wanted him to go at him. The time before, they were going at Robertson again. So I think they're trying to, whoever Robinson's guarding, they want the floor spread and try and take him off the bounce.
Robertson picks up his 2nd personal. Kendrick Davis and Tim Suarez with 3 each for Sydney. Doyle, tough day from the field, but he's got to the line a little bit later in the game. And he's a very effective free throw shooter, Milton Doyle. 3 of 3 in this position today. Make it all 4. And we're back to 2.
This is where the Kings, throughout the course of the afternoon, have been able to come up with a big bucket. They've been able to find a 3, somehow or other create something at the rim.
What are they setting up for here? It's a Kendrick Davis 3, well off the mark, but Suarez grabs the offensive rebound. Davis again, just inside the clock. It was more of a prayer than a legitimate shot, but Kendrick Davis made it look easy.
Well, you said it, Drewy, they've made shots, and that was, he missed one and got it back and made the tougher one.
And now Melbourne turn it over for Jalen Galloway, the Kings' leading scorer this game. He's been joined, in fact, by Davis with 19. Remember, Kendrick had 1 point to quarter time. He's had 18 since then.
Well, this aiming replay is one I don't know whether Suarez realised that that ball hadn't touched the rim, so he throws it back out, and just a prayer gets answered. Not a lot more Walker could do in that circumstance.
Davis inbound for Galloway. He's slapped away by Delaney. Sydney ball still.
Just incredible. Just even being here, they get that. They've led the whole game. They get it back to 2. The composure of the Sydney Kings has been tremendous.
And it does help when you've got Kendrick with the ball, because he just makes good plays and makes tough shots. But on the other hand, if you're United, like you said, they've been trying to wrestle back to get in front, You're down 5 right now with 7:50 to go. This is your chance to get back to even and create some scoreboard pressure.
There's Tyson Walker. Just back to your Sydney point, Drewy, that Kings have been able to win big, but they've been able to win in overtime in recent games as well. They've handled the tense moments well.
Yeah, and their play hasn't represented any sort of panic. Earlier on in the season, when the Sydney Kings were going through some tough times, it looked like it become real individual. But now there's that level of, no, we're okay, we've got a system in place. They move the ball well, get the ball to the right people at the right time.
Kings beat Melbourne in overtime by 6. They beat Adelaide in overtime next game by 4. Kendrick Davis was front and centre of those results. And all of a sudden, He is Sydney's leading scorer again, having passed 20 points against Melbourne for the 4th time this season.
Well, he's starting to get it done offensively. He's getting to his spots in the mid-range as Tyson Walker misses one. And I'm going to say he's going to pull right back into it. And if he scores here, Dino might come with a timeout off the back of it.
They set up for Kendrick Davis again, or is it? No, it's Suarez close to the rim. He can't score.
Great help side, weak side help by Chris Golden.
He then runs into trouble at the other end, and it's a Sydney ball. Golding hits the deck heavily. It's Tim Suarez with the big body in front of him. Was he fouled, men, to the naked eye? Chris thinks so. Here it is.
No, it's all ball.
Kendrick Davis and his scores against Melbourne this season: 21 points round 4, 34 points round 7, 26 last time they met in round 12.
We go back to even last season when he was with Adelaide. He's averaged 28 points against Melbourne the last 5 games.
Another flick pass for Tim Suarez. He's done it twice in the one game. Kendrick Davis for Tim Suarez, channeling a famous rugby league player from Western Sydney. Is it Benji Marshall or KD? Both pulling the trick plays effectively as Sydney walk into a tangerine timeout, ahead 87-79. Jason Kadee, pretty to watch. Kendrick Davis and Tim Suarez, what a combination, with a bit of flair, if you don't mind.
Well, it's the second time tonight he's found him. That one was a little more on the money than the first one, but I spoke about it before, and Drewy said it as well. Kings have had tremendous just patience with what they're doing offensively, but then Melbourne, once again, you get it back to 4, you get it to 2, and now it's back to 8. When you're chasing like that, you've got to take advantage because it gets hard to chase and chase and chase.
Kendrick Davis may have been a little quiet in terms of points in that big win against New Zealand, but he did come up with 7 assists, and while we've been watching his 8 of 19 and 21 points today, you look up at his assist column, Drewy, 6, a very tidy number again.
Yeah, it is. He can beat you in so many different ways, and he holds his own down the other end. Can be a little pesky, and which he needs to be when you're a little fella, but he's a superstar, and it's why he's an MVP candidate.
Yes, Kendrick Davis pulling the strings. Tim Suarez a beneficiary. The Sydney Kings doing well offensively. But your point, Andrew, about him doing it at both floors has been mentioned repeatedly in media conferences by Brian Goorjian. Keen to give his point guard a pump up in terms of his defensive application this season as well. And pesky is a good word, as he tries to be exactly that for Tyson Walker.
Play right there. There's not a whole lot going on, and tries to thread the needle.
Especially when tonight, actually, timeouts, they've been pretty good and getting the right shot, but that one just looked really stagnant.
Krebs can't score. He'll get a second attempt. Tanner Krebs will go to the line instead. 2 free throws coming for Tanner.
See, when things are going well for you, that first shot that Krebs makes goes in. Yeah. He's going to make that 9 times out of 10. But when you're in this period where wins are hard to come by, confidence is a little down, you still arm it, still elbow. Just can't extend quite enough, and you're hoping it's going in rather than shooting it in.
Krebs to 9 points for the game. He has 7 rebounds as well. So this for double figures in terms of points at least, and within reach of a double-double. Misses the back end. The rebound, Suarez.
Well, there's a long way to go, but I cannot be more impressed with the Sydney Kings, with what they've had to deal with the injuries and the way they've played this game.
No Cooks, no Quoll, no Delvedova for most of it. Yet here they are leading by 7. Kendrick Davis makes it 10. In fact, it's a long 2. Identified as a 2-ball.
What a weapon. To be so reliable from the mid-range, which not a lot of coaches want you to shoot. They want you to shoot a 3-ball or get to the rim. But he's one of those ones that he's so good at that mid-range that you almost prefer that than him finishing in amongst the tall timber around the rim.
Boys, Jesse Edwards, 23 points on 11 of 13 and 7 rebounds. They're just checking whether this is, well, it's easy. It's a long two. Jesse Edwards, only one 20-point, 10-rebound game this season, and it was round 4.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think they're checking to see if it's something to do with the shot clock on that last possession.
It wouldn't be whether the feet were inside. He was way inside the arm.
It's
way inside.
It's almost the key.
Yeah.
To do with the shot clock, I think.
Just a little correction of the clock.
Whether it was reset or not prior to the shot. So
watch the shot clock in this replay.
Gone to 24.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been reset. They did not gain possession. It was reset when it shouldn't have been. So that's going to wave a basket off.
Yep.
And it's going to go the way of Melbourne United.
So back to 87-80.
Which is tough because if they had known, they're only playing, the opposition is playing by the clock.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that...
We've checked it.
Yeah, but that's not...
Oh, but it would have been a shot clock violation.
For it, though.
No, it wouldn't have been a shot clock violation because they might have been able to shoot it earlier.
Yeah.
I just thought it would have been Sydney ball with whatever left on the clock they put on it.
Well, the very least a jump ball. I don't get the logic behind what they're saying.
So the shot clock...
played according to the clock.
Yes.
That's all we can do.
That's what I'm saying.
Hard done by.
Got that.
In the eyes of many, the Sydney Kings. But Melbourne need all the luck they can get and are happy to ride that here. Delaney through Krebs. Tanner step back 2, no. Rebound Noy. And now it's again Davis for Suarez. Back for Kendrick to launch a 3-ball off the mark. Just back to Jesse Edwards, only one 20-point, 10-rebound game, and it was here against Sydney in round 4. He's on 23 points and 8 rebounds currently. McWatch, Malawatch, no. Noy, offensive climb.
They're getting on the boards, and although the O boards are the same, 9 apiece, there are certain times when O boards are more important than others.
Suarez just inside the clock. And we'll go Melbourne's way. 39-38, the rebounds in favour of the Kings. But you're right, Andrew, the number of times you thought, wow, big rebound Sydney.
Yeah.
And you look up and see O boards 9 apiece. Inside the final 5, and it's the Kings looking to keep their good form at home rolling. Golding. Golding again with so much pressure, no time, catch and shoot, big bucket for the difference.
He does that so well. He misses it here, gets up off the ground as it kicks out. Tanner finds Finn, and then just Chris relocates and just whack.
Doesn't need a lot of time with his legs. Tall arms. Doesn't have to drop the ball. That's a tough shot, made to look pretty regulation.
Look at all the home games coming for Sydney. Now, I know that Brisbane, the next one is at RAC Arena in Perth as part of Hoops Fest, but then they've got 3 on the bounce at Kudos Bank Arena. Win this, they'll be 3rd with a fairly favourable run home. Plenty of Kudos Bank Arena games there. So Brian Goorjian and his men won't be giving up on a top 2 finish.
No, and normally I'd 100% agree with you, but this year with the road teams being so successful, and Sydney have been pretty good at defending home court, but such little margin for error no matter where you play. Melbourne They're just trying to find a win somewhere. And Tassie has been their bogey team since Tasmania have come into the competition.
And they're playing really well right now.
Playing great basketball. Brisbane, interesting to see how they finish out the season. So there's really, right now, no gimmies.
They're not back to John Cain Arena until the 5th game on that list against Adelaide. So they go RAC Arena, Bendigo, then they're in Perth again for the Wildcats at New Zealand, then back to John Cain Arena. They won't be focused on their run ahead. They'll be focused on recapturing their early season form and dominance that saw them go 9-0 before they ran into the Kings and suffered their first defeat. 4 minutes left here, plenty of time for United to drag themselves back in front, but not if Jalen Galloway keeps setting new benchmarks offensively for himself in NBL 26.
It's another example, Jace, of just coming up with a massive bucket at critical stages.
Well, that equals Jalen Galloway's career high. And Chris Golding, we know how high he can go. 50 points in a 40-minute game, if you don't mind.
And we're back to 4. They just can't get within 4, get it to even.
Golding now with 21. Edwards, the only United player in front of him, with 23. Suarez misses. Rebound Delaney.
Suarez has gone off the ball with his free ball since about 40% way through the season.
Delaney for Golding. Maliwatch gets in front of him just in time. And then Suarez, a block on Delaney. And he returns the favour with a little backhanded pass for his provider in this game, Kendrick Davis.
Only just got it over the centre line in required time.
Suarez for the hot hand of Galloway. There's a deflection that took the sting out of the play. And Galloway just can't miss. There is a new career high for Jalen Galloway. 10 of 11 for the game, including 5 made triples at 100%, if you don't mind.
But just a bad decision by Edwards. You've got Galloway who's wide hot. It's low in the shot clock, and he was pointing the finger, say, you taking. No, he needed to just stay locked in.
Jalen Galloway, the 23-year-old, born Townsville High School in the US, and there's a block from Suarez. They're running now, 3 of the horses, and Galloway is fouled.
Looked scary for a second, but it was that both guys going for the ball. But they've just, Sydney have had the answers. And like that one, to your point, Drew, was off a mistake from Melbourne, but they've continued to knock down shots, and they just haven't allowed United to get back even since the very start of this end of the first quarter.
Kelsey Brown, key minutes here for the Kings and United.
Yes, you talk about the desperation for Melbourne United to win this game, but in that timeout, what has been impressive from the Sydney Kings is the execution. It was all about Jalen Galloway, going to him a little bit more on the offensive end, but it was Brian Goorjian that said at the end of it, we are going to win this game. So the desperation is there for both teams, but Sydney Kings are just executing right now.
This guy here, this is some sort of performance. 10 of 11 from the field.
In his 6th season at Sydney, great to see him over the injury problems that have pestered him in the past. There's Finn Delaney just dropping 3 more to say it's not done yet. We're about to go inside the final 2. Down the stretch now, 95-89 Sydney. What a game, Jalen Galloway. Watnoy now. Maliwatch lets loose. Off the mark. Rebound Melbourne. Golding goes outside for Milton Doyle. Someone's got to shoot it. Doyle block, gets the deflection, runs into Suarez. Ball up is the ruling, and look at Suarez.
It's going to stay with Melbourne United because the little possession arrow says it stays with Melbourne United. And to me, bring back the jump ball. What an effort by Galloway. And great block.
Just watch Suarez celebrate this. He walks out, just goes out of screen. But the big flex and rev up to the crowd. And the Brazilian is feeling it this afternoon.
They go out with all shooters. They take Edwards out of the ball game, trailing by 6 with a minute 27 remaining.
Sydney chasing 3 straight wins against Melbourne. Trying to go 3-1 against United this regular season. Doyle, pull-up shooter, off the mark. Krebs tip for Golding. CG has the shot jump out, and who else takes the rebound? The man who is at prohibitive odds to be the Footlocker player of the game, Jalen Galloway. Suarez running the floor.
Didn't need it.
He misses the gimme.
It's a bad decision. Clock is their friend, and he got one up early.
This'll hurt.
Oh, my.
Oh, look at Tanner Krebs say that makes the decision to play Suarez quick potentially even more costly.
Got to get it over the centre line too.
Davis realises that. He goes coast to coast, off the glass. The little man standing tall for Sydney.
He's one of the, there's a few, but he's one of the guys in the league. Jalen Galloway's hurt his shoulder in the previous possession. But Kendrick in the full court, he's someone you've got to guard with 5 people. He's so explosively quick.
Yeah.
It just opens up the floor. It's almost, he'd rather you guard him in the full court.
Yeah, and they really gambled in the backcourt, like you mentioned, and that opened up that wide open driving lane, and they didn't need to do it. Still time, trailing them by 3.
Just need to stop.
But look at this shot chart. Only 1 cross. 10 of 11. That is at a perfect 5 of 5 from the threes. This has just been a spectacular performance by Jalen Galloway.
His previous career mark was 22 points at Tasmania as part of NBL 24. A couple of years down the track, he's had a new career night. 10 of 11. Jace, what have you made of Jalen Galloway? And you know him better than I do in terms of his potential. Still a very young man, so much basketball in front of him. How good can Jalen Galloway become?
No, I'm really high on him, especially after being around him in the off-season and just knowing him more as a person and just seeing his skill level. His upside is immense, and I just think he's been part of such a deep wing bench that he gets hidden at times. He doesn't get to truly show what he's capable of, so we're starting to see a bit of it with some injuries.
Bankstown Bruins, NBL 1 East during the off-season. He averaged 23 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. He was good for the Bruins, and he's been great today for the Kings. Final minute of the game. Kings by 5. Walker, high off the glass. And goaltending call. Bucket counts, 97-94.
He was unlucky not to get a foul on that one too. Look at a bit of contact on this drive here.
Yeah, no, but he initiated the contact.
He drew, he's trying to do a layup.
Oh, yeah, but Melowatch was right underneath, so I think that's a good no call.
You would have got that call.
No, I don't think so.
Come on.
Davis finds an outlet. There's Melowatch.
They're going to have time, Melbourne United. They clearly need to stop.
And the ball is in the right guy's hands.
Haven't been able to stop this man very effectively since quarter time. Kawatnoi! The shot jumps out. The crowd was ready to erupt. Instead, they cheered Jalen Galloway. Another rebound.
They don't have to foul here.
Still 8 seconds.
Melowatch.
Shoot it.
Davis puts the shot up, and Melbourne will get the ball with 5.3 seconds, meaning a triple, to send us to OT.
And no timeout.
So they can't advance it. They might have.
They almost tried to foul with no time on the clock. Gorge is telling their group right now to foul, which is probably the right call.
You don't want to foul early. And this will give them a chance to make a foul in the back court.
Crowd stands.
Now they've only got 2.
7.4, the clock's been readjusted to.
There you go.
If you foul too late here, what you'll give Melbourne United opportunity to do is run a sideline play for a 3. So if you're Melbourne, you want to get it down.
Tyson Walker guarded by Davis. Here's Golding. Golding to level the game. It misses. Kawatnoi grabs the rebound. And the Sydney Kings celebrate beating Melbourne for a 3rd game in a row.
This will go down. I know Brian Goorjian makes a lot of comments. I'm sure he'll put this in one of his best wins of his career. And what a career it's been for Brian Goorjian. Incredible, the adversity with the personnel not available, but the composure that they were able to show has just been, well, it's marked them, despite all the problems they've got in. If they can continue to play like this, they are legitimate championship contenders.
100%, and I don't know if you could see it there, but Gorgie's emotions right now are high. And I think it's because how important this game really was in context of where their season is and where they're trying to get to.
He just realises his team has beaten one of the competition's big guns. They've done it at home, and the Kings are up to 3rd. Brian Goorjian, 26 seasons in the NBL. Emotions still run high, and the coach, the veteran GOAT, is pumped.
And there's your, well, there was no, sometimes we've got to, well, is it this guy or that guy? But despite the heroics of Kendrick Davis, there's no question that Jalen Galloway, 10 of 11 from the field and a perfect 5 of 5 from threes, a few rebounds and assists as well.
Boys, Melbourne came here determined to bounce back from that loss to Cairns. They ran into a Sydney side, no Bull Quoll, no Xavier Cooks, losing Matthew Dellavedova, and still the Kings find a way to get it done.
No, it's a testament to their depth and how they've found a rhythm as a group, especially in this 3rd of the season. They've just been really consistent, and it's like they just are very comfortable with who each other are, and they're just comfortable to step up and take opportunities.
These scenes by Kendrick Davis, the Kings, and the coach Brian Goorjian show how much this means to win without the likes of Xavier Cooks. Big, big afternoon for Sydney. We're back to Kudos Bank Arena to wrap it up after this.
Sydney, so glad to have you out here. It has been great all night. Where is JG? My guy JG. Come on. Come on. Come on, man. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. 27 for you tonight. I know from interviewing every single one of you guys, it's never about individual performances, but that's a good one.
Yes, sir. I mean, a couple guys went down, so it was great to pull through and get a win.
Everybody, next man up mentality. A lot of people talk about it. Not everybody does it. This team does.
Yeah, I mean, everybody can go crazy like that on any given night. So, I mean, our team is that deep.
100% it is. I just got one more thing for you, JG. What about this crowd? Over 12,000 strong, and how loud was it in the end?
It was elite, man. I mean, I appreciate y'all for showing out, man.
This guy right here, JG, 27 tonight. Let's go, Sydney. Welcome to 3rd on the ladder. Let's go.
Eric, you're in fine form, Eric. Well done. Thank you, Kings fans. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Brewery Bar and Kitchen. You can get some autographs from the players. 20% off food and drinks, Rob.
That's right.
It's only a short walk from over here.
You all right? You need some lozenges. I'm not ready to pass out. All right, that was a great game.
Join us 22nd of January. Pass the word. We want to fill up Kudos Bank Arena, and we want to just keep this momentum going.
Yes, all right.
Free, I love it.
Thank you, Kings fans. We'll see you again. You guys are amazing. Let's keep building up.
January 22nd.
The Sydney Kings win a thriller, 97-94. Kendrick Davis, Brian Goorjian, point guard and coach embrace. Big result for the Sydney Kings. Dean Vickerman, conversely, has lost 8 of 10 games for the first time in his long and successful NBL career. So problems for Melbourne, joy, unbridled joy for Goorjian and the Kings.
And that's a little pump in the air to all those that thought the game might have passed him by. Said, cop that, look at me now. Going along nicely, 97-94 win. And, you know, they did it, they still haven't found the formula to make some shots. The Melbourne United just weren't able, Jace, to make big shots, unlike the Kings when they needed them.
No, and it's a testament to Sydney. They've just found a nice groove as a group, and they know where the ball needs to go. They give it to Kendrick, and they make plays out of it. And even when you lose some important pieces, to get through a win like that, I know United have been struggling, but they're still an experienced group, and often groups can lose their way when you lose people, but not the Kings.
That man, Jalen Galloway, 26 points. He actually goes past his brother Kyron, who had a family high of 23 points in the NBL. So boasting rights now with Jalen, who says, back to Kyron, come and get me.
No, they're two super players, tremendous athletes, been blessed with some unbelievable DNA. And when you can shoot it like this guy here on your screen, and it's all about the Sydney Kings because of the emotion of it, not having the players and the resilience they showed. But you know, if I'm a Melbourne United fan, it's hard when you're 2-8 in your last 10. They are not that far away from it.
Well, let's have a look at the ladder. They have coughed up third spot with that defeat. So they go down to fourth. The Kings up to third. If we're staying positive, Jace, Andrew mentioned it during the game. They are in this championship, the Kings, up to their eyeballs.
No, they are, and they've been playing really good. But the next bit for Sydney is it's hard to go game after game without troops, especially when games come so fast at you.
Yeah.
So they'll have to regroup here and get ready to go next weekend at the Hoops Fest.
Well, for a team like Melbourne United, we thought it was a given they were going to be in the top 2. They are now in a battle of their lives to make the top 4.
Absolutely. So Jalen Galloway stepping up. No Xavier Cooks tonight. No Bull Quoll. No Matthew Dellavedova either for most of the game yet. The Kings win it by 3 on behalf of Drewy, Jace Kadee, Kelsey Brown and the hard-working team. Until tomorrow night's Hoops, I'm Matt Russell. Goodbye from Sydney.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.